Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be finishing up talking about the new TP cards coming out with Wild Resurgence, and one of them was almost my favorite card out of the entire new set, but unfortunately it's not going to quite get there, I don't think. But anyways, guys, I want to let you know that we are going to be doing the beginner's guide for the green SS2 Gohan deck tomorrow here on the channel, because you guys were awesome enough to get that video to over 100 likes. So big shout out to you guys for doing that. That will be here on the channel tomorrow, so make sure to come back. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be uploading that. But in today's video, we're going over the rest of the TP cards coming out. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that bell so you never miss a video. And if you guys do want to help support the channel and you're planning on buying any of these cards on TCG Player or any trading cards for that matter, it does very much help me out if you use my link in the description to TCG Player. It doesn't cost you anything extra, and I really do appreciate the little kickback to the channel, guys, as always. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. We are starting off with probably what's kind of a stinker. We have Cell Earthling Absorption. We have a 3-drop 10k auto. When this card attacks, use one of your opponent's Earthling cards with energy cost of 1 or one of their Earthling tokens in a combo in your combo area. If you do, this card gets plus 10k power until the end of your opponent's turn, making it a 20k. And then auto, if this card's power is 20k or more and it's your opponent's turn, when your opponent plays a card, you may add this card to your hand. Okay, I guess you get 5k combo back. And then activate main limit 1 for green, choose one of your opponent's Earthling tokens and switch it to rest mode and play this card from your hand. So yeah, the Cell deck is so weird for so many reasons. Firstly, they unfortunately kind of just killed the deck with the recent wave of erratas, because now you can only play green androids as far as I remember in the deck. And while that is good for balancing out the issue with Koitsukai and Dark Power Black Mass Sand versus Ginger Town, you're just completely eliminating the deck from playing any other good green cards like Paragus Super Combo, Kaioken Goku the Furious, Zamasu, Deity's Wrath. Like, the deck is not able to play any of those cards anymore, which totally kills the deck. There's been a lot of people calling for and asking for and kind of begging for Bandai to revert that errata to where you just can't play black cards or something like that, or maybe just non-green cards. That would maybe be fair as well. But yeah, that alone, I don't think this card does anything too great for the deck. Like, the deck is strange where it has like a lot of big hitters for a green deck. It's almost like wanting to be aggressive in a more hand control style deck. I don't know, maybe those of you that know the Cell deck more will understand what this card's main purpose is. I don't totally get it, but it is there. Luckily, it shouldn't be expensive for anyone who actually really wants to pick it up, but yeah, I'm not seeing the big value in it. Then we have Frieza Provoking Attack. So this is for the yellow Frieza swap deck, which if you guys saw, I posted a profile here on the channel. Maybe I should go back and do a beginner's guide for that. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see that. But we have a 3-drop 19k Deflect, swap 5 for 2 yellow, but don't forget the leader reduces that cost by 1, so it'll be 1 yellow into a Frieza with energy cost of 5 and swap. And this is cool. This one has Deflect, because I don't believe either of the other 2 3-drop swaps have Deflect, which does make them quite vulnerable. They were mostly vulnerable in blue android matchups that could use android 18 let the battle begin, but now that Gamma is a banned leader, I don't know if that's going to be too problematic anymore, but it's still good that it has Deflect in matchups that you need the protection. So we have auto limit 1. When this card's played, look at top 5 cards of your deck, add it to 1 yellow Frieza to your hand, shuffle your deck, and if you added a card, place 1 card from your hand at the top of your deck. That's interesting. What that actually does though is sets up your Awakened Leader's ability to look at top 3 and combo with one of your Frieza armies to make Z energy. And that's really cool too, with one of the things I was talking about in that deck profile, where when you use any of your top 3 abilities to combo a card from top of deck, you want to stop at that first card if it's an eligible target. Because let's say the next 2 following cards were like, worst case scenario, a super combo and a secret rare. Now you're putting those cards at the bottom of your deck, and you really don't want to be doing that. So this thing setting you up for that combo immediately is actually kind of cool. I do like that it's got Deflect, so this card in that deck is probably going to end up deserving some sort of main deck slot. I'll probably have to rework it into the profile. When I made that profile, this card wasn't shown yet, so I'll probably have to work it in there. But this card is very good for that Frieza deck, for sure. Then we have Bardock Sand Invasion. This card is actually super interesting, but kind of weird. So let's start from the bottom here. Activate battle limit 1 for a yellow. If your leader is yellow, your opponent has 2 or more energy. Draw 1 card and play this card from your hand. So you have potential to play during your opponent's turn. So if for some reason you don't floodgate them or whatever, you can spend that energy, get that draw, and play this guy. Then we have auto. When one of your battle cards other than this card is KO'd or removed from the battle area by an opponent's skill, this card gains barrier for the turn. Now that is a very interesting ability because this card will be on the board, your opponent will know about that interaction, right? So it almost tells your opponent like, okay, you got to kill this card first, otherwise it's just gonna have barrier and then you can't kill it, right? So that might deter them from killing other cards you want to keep on board, and force them to kill this so it doesn't gain the barrier. That's kind of interesting, but in some cases they might not care about a 15k threat, so that might not be persuasive enough to get them to kill this thing. However, I still find it kind of interesting. Then we have the second auto. If you have 4 or more energy, you don't have a battle card in play other than this card in your battle area. At the start of your main phase, this card gets plus 15k power and double strike for the turn. Okay, so that will definitely persuade them a bit more to want to kill this thing to prevent it from getting the barrier, so you don't get the 30k double strike. However, this does have to obviously like survive a turn to get there. But ideally, I guess you'd want to play this on your opponent's turn going into your turn 4. That way you can use the ability at the start of your main phase. But you would have no other battle cards in play, or you have to have no other battle cards in play to resolve this ability. So I guess the second auto there, where it gains barrier, is more useful if you happen to play it early and you're kind of like hoping it lives going into that turn 4. I don't know. This is obviously a Bardock's crew card. It's yellow, and we know we got a yellow Bardock's crew deck back in, was it set 18, maybe 19? So this is like a searchable card in that deck, but it's not really like direct support for that deck as far as I can tell in any way. There's not really much like evolves over this. This doesn't do anything specific with Bardock's crew cards. It just happens to be searchable in that deck and playable in any yellow deck, which is maybe kind of cool. But I don't think this card is going to be like super sought after right away. I don't expect it to be super expensive. It is one of the winner cards for the TP set though, which is kind of cool if you guys are big fans of Bardock. Then we have Gohan Weakened Power. This is a 2-drop 15k auto. If your leader is a yellow Goku or Vegeta, when this card's KO'd or removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill at the end of the turn, play 1 yellow Goku or a Vegeta with energy cost of 2 from your hand, and then activate main limit 1 for a yellow. If your leader's yellow Goku or Vegeta, you have 2 or more energy, play this card from your hand. So this is meant to be played in the flip-flop Goku deck. And so basically what the point of this card is, it's a 1-drop 15k, so it does hit on most unawakened and awakened leaders, unless they're Z-awakened or have some sort of Senzu Bean-esque effect. And then if it ever gets removed, you get to free play a Goku or Vegeta. However, I don't think this card is very good for that deck because, one, it relies on your opponent doing something, which is never really a great thing. Honestly, if I saw this card, I would just leave it on board the entire game and probably just like Floodgate or, again, like Senzu Bean type of effect out of this card ever being a threat to me, just so you don't get the free play on the Goku or Vegeta. But even besides that, almost all the Gokus and Vegetas in that deck play themselves for 1 anyway. So at that point, you're kind of wasting deck space on this card that isn't a Goku or Vegeta, so it's not buffable by your leader on either side. And then you're just using it to cheat out a Goku or Vegeta that would have cost 1 anyway. So yeah, I don't think this card's very, very good. Now, I want to use this just to talk about the Goku flip-flop deck a little bit here, because I have been testing it more leading into set 21 Wild Resurgence. And that deck is not looking super impressive. Like, I posted the combo variant profile here on the channel. Even the yellow good stuff variant I don't think is much better than like Golden Frieza Trunks Vegeta or even Majin Vegeta, because that deck has a really big problem of leaders that don't have to attack. So like 21, there's no reason why 21 wouldn't be a super prominent deck next format, and that leader does not have to attack, generate advantage. So that's a big bad matchup for that deck for sure. Other than that, I just think it has to jump through a lot more hoops to generate advantage, where other decks just do it much more freely. So I'm not looking at that deck with super high hopes or expectations. This card though, if you are going to play that deck, definitely don't need to include this in my opinion. Then we have the final card of the video, which was almost my favorite card in all of set 21 Wild Resurgence. That is Vegito Volley Attack. 6-drop 30k overwhelm 6 permanent. This card can attack your opponent's battle cards in active mode, then auto if your opponent has 2 or more energy. When an opponent's battle card is KO'd by this card's attack, switch this card to active mode. Okay, let me explain why this is almost my favorite card in the entire set. Bulma, as you guys know, is my least favorite deck in modern Dragon Ball Super, and what was a really good check to Bulma was SS4 Gogeta triumphant together, because he could attack all your opponent's battle cards and they were not allowed to negate, and because all the blockers would be KO'd by battle, your opponent would not be able to proc Bulma the Bunny Girl to just like replay a board full of blockers. This does a similar thing where it can attack every single one of your opponent's battle cards. However, if the attack is negated, this card just doesn't do anything, which is super unfortunate. Obviously, this would have been a little bit broken if it said your opponent couldn't negate the attack, but I kind of wish that is what it said, so we could have had that reach against Bulma. But unfortunately, it's not going to work the way I had hoped it would. But yeah, guys, that is going to be the rest of the TP cards. I guess I should give my opinion on Vegito. It's okay. I mean, maybe if you could drop it early enough to where Bulma can't really have negates, maybe it's good there, but I don't think this thing is going to be super important in other matchups. Like, even against red decks that don't really have floodgates, or even black decks that don't have floodgates, sure, you can swing their entire board, but if they just simply block or negate, this thing has done nothing, in which case Seeker ID is probably just better 9 times out of 10. But it will be another winter card, maybe hopefully a cheaper winter card, so collecting those this set, maybe it'll be a little bit less expensive. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you tomorrow in the Gohan Beginner Guide.